Hey guys, it's Karen. I just wanted to talk to you guys today about compromise. Compromise in the sense of what it is and what it's become and what we're doing with it, right? How we perceive compromise. So, the actual definition of compromise can be looked at two different ways. One, there's like you see the sales ads, we don't compromise safety um, to get better prices or whatever. But then the other one is to come to that agreed settlement or agreement, if you will, between all parties involved so that everybody gets what they want, right? Well, for so many of us, where this comes into play, especially parents or people in a partnership, whether it be a marriage or just a relationship or any kind of relationship, really, but especially as parents, I feel we take compromise to a whole nother level. Somehow we start thinking about compromise as giving up on our own needs and goals to take care of somebody else. So, which isn't healthy, and we feel like we're doing this thing for our children or for our wives or husbands or whomever to help them achieve their goals. And we're going to be happy because we're doing that. When in all reality, the long-term consequences of that are going to be a resentment, a feeling of helplessness because we aren't achieving our purpose, what we know that we want to do, what we're here to do, and we push that aside for somebody else's goals and passions, and ultimately it leads to depression and just a feeling, like I said, of helplessness, uselessness. You think of it like the mom who gives up everything just to work and take care of her kids. And then kids grow up, they move out, and then what does mom have? She's 40, 50, maybe even 60 years old, did not pursue her dreams, her goals for most of her life because she completely compromised everything that she was to give her children everything that she thought they needed and wanted. Which sounds commendable until you think about it, right? Like, if you get into it on a deeper level, mom's miserable a lot. So our energy there is going to reflect on our children. We're going to become depressed. We're going to become this being that feels trapped, right? And ultimately, if we're not doing things to take care of ourselves, to be happy with ourselves, then we're not going to have a happy, free energy, and that will affect our children. And then at the end, we're left 50, 60 years old trying to figure out now what, right? And not that you can't start then and start working on your passions and freeing yourself and all that, but why wait that long? Why do that to yourself? So I think it's important that you understand compromise is necessary in a relationship, right? Whether it be with your children, your partner, whoever it is, even an employment partnership or a business partnership, there has to be some compromise. But the key is for it to be healthy compromise, right? So in a healthy compromise, which basically is a healthy relationship, right? It is that first definition I gave. It is everybody coming to an agreement for what's best for all parties involved. So for, say, my relationship, for example, with Gabriel, we are both pursuing our passions. We are both pursuing our dreams. And that means the compromise of kind of working our schedules around each other. Okay, you've got this webinar this day, you're meeting with this person this day, so your appointment's at 3, I'll make mine at 5. That compromise is basically making sure that we are both able to pursue our goals and our dreams without preventing the other one from doing so as well. And then being that healthy, happy support for each other. In so many cases, you see it be where one of the partners in the relationship goes off and is working and going to school and doing all this stuff while the other one is just doing to provide for that person to be able to do that, whether that looks like taking care of the kids in the house while the other one goes out, or working a job that they're not really happy with just to be able to provide the finances for the other one to do it, whatever it may be. It ends up building a resentment, and a lot of times that's what part of the reason our relationships aren't working, right? It ends up being why parents get so frustrated with their children, because they're repeating this routine every single day. Get up, make breakfast, get the kids ready for school, get the kids to school, go to work, come home, cook dinner, make sure kids do their homework, blah blah blah, go to sleep, repeat. Where in that is anything for the parent? What did you do for you today? So you've made all these compromises. You put everything aside that should have been on your priority list to take care of you, to do everything for them. That's going to build a resentment, even if you don't think it is. And that resentment isn't necessarily going to be at your children. It's going to be at yourself, which in the long run is going to hurt you and your children, right? So it's finding that balance. How can I still pursue my dreams and what I want and still be an amazing mother, right? It is possible. Not to say it won't be just as challenging as parenting always will be, right? But rewarding, more rewarding for both you and your child, because you're going to be happy. You're going to feel a sense of accomplishment and pride in yourself that will reflect on your children. It will just make the whole living environment light and loving and happy, right? It'll harmonious. There's the word I'm looking for. A harmonious living environment, because you're living in harmony. You're living in peace. You know, you're all happy. You're all doing your part. So, and then it's teaching that example, right? That awesome example to your children that you don't have to compromise who you are for anybody else. You know, mom, dad, we didn't compromise who we are for anybody. And we don't want you to do that either. We want you to love who you are. We want you to embrace who you are. And ultimately, in any relationship, especially in a romantic relationship, you shouldn't have to compromise or change who you are for that to work. If you have to do that, this isn't the relationship with you or for you. This is not where you should be, because in a relationship that you're meant to be in, that is right for you, it doesn't matter what your strange little quirks are, what your weird things are, what your passions, what your dreams are. That person is going to be drawn to you in spite of those. Even if it's something they don't like, those things don't matter, right? Gabriel definitely does some things that I'm like, it's kind of strange, you know, or why is she doing that, you know? And I'm sure I do too. Like I explained before, she's an introvert, I'm an extrovert. So sometimes my bubbly, hyper, outgoing personality is a little much for her, you know? And at times I'm like thinking in my head, is she mad at me? Why isn't she talking to me? What's going on? You know what I mean? Because I feel like she's not responding enough, you know? And in a relationship where we weren't meant to be, those things might be enough to separate us, right? It might be enough to make us unhappy. But instead, we've found a way that it actually draws us together. It's helped us grow together. She's helped me learn to be more introverted, and I've helped her learn to be more extroverted, right? So my point is, yes, compromise in some sense is necessary. But compromise doesn't have to mean giving up on your goals and who you are, or changing your goals or who you are. Compromise should mean, let's rearrange our schedules to where we can both do what's right for us, right? Let's find a way that this whole family, I don't care how many kids you have, it doesn't matter, you know, pets, whatever, right? Let's find a way for everybody involved in this situation, all of us, to be able to compromise our schedules so that we can all grow and expand on who we are together as a family, but also separate as our individual selves, which is an amazing feeling when you see it happening. And it's rewarding. It's more rewarding than ever putting yourself aside and watching them grow while you feel like you're shrinking, right? That's it. Just healthy compromise. Don't give up who you are for anybody. Don't dim your light so somebody else can shine. That's not what it's about. The brighter your light is, the brighter they're going to make yours. So shine. Be who you are. Don't compromise that. Ever. That's it. Love you guys. Bye.